From weathered back roads to the blazing edge of faith, this is where grit meets grace. Welcome to the place where truth ain't tame and stories burn brighter than the flame. This is the Gunpowder, Propane and Jesus podcast. Real talk, real calling, no polish, just purpose. Let's light it up.
Whoa. Wow. Amazing introduction.
So we don't have Aaron with us this morning. He had to run his kid to school.
But we got Bruce back.
Yeah. Bruh. How did I die last week when I wasn't here?
You were at Plantation Blood.
Right.
And a bunch of children thought you were the crypt keeper from...
Because I'm old?
Yeah. And they drove a stake through your heart.
Okay.
So
do I guess I get killed every week I'm not here when I'm working.
Yeah, when Bruce isn't here, he has to die. So what's Aaron's thing when Aaron's not here?
He's on, or nothing happens to him.
He's having issues with his sex change operation. That's Aaron's thing. Yeah, he had to go see the doctor.
But we do have a special guest here. So I'm going to let him introduce himself, but I've known this gentleman for a long time, does a lot in the community and across the country.
Wait, we're supposed to introduce the guest. That's our job as a co-host. You do it since you've
but I
known
don't think none of us have the
charisma?
No, I mean, I'm talking about what he does. All right, so Patrick Cullinan, Georgia Hat Company.
Georgia Hat
he's
yes.
PBA. We were talking before the show. He just took over South Carolina, so he does Georgia, South Carolina. And for people in law enforcement and first responders battling addiction, this man goes above and beyond.
Nice.
Helping that. And for people that aren't in that lifestyle, that is very, very tough. Mm-hmm. He's battled it himself and does an amazing job with those people. So
I just, is Pat short for Patricia? No.
Actually, it used to be Patrick. Now it's Fatrick.
Oh, nice. No, you're not even close to being fat, Pat. You just look like a young hip Santa Claus that hit his what is it, the 40 age what is that, midlife crisis. You look like you traded the sleigh in for a motorcycle. He could double
as Santa Claus, that's for sure.
He could. So, he has a nice beard. This dude is a good looking dude. If y'all want to see him, Saturday markets, Evans, Georgia. He has a building out in Applin where you can go buy hats. He's got a great website for big head hats as well. He does some great stitching and all that. But I'm sorry, I had to throw that one out there. It's been bugging me all day.
No, man, I appreciate the compliment.
I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't short for Patricia. That was my thing.
No. It's and it is Patrick, but you can call me Pat.
Pat.
You can call me Patrick.
Don't call you late for dinner.
Yeah, don't call me late for dinner. Now, I will be late for breakfast.
Yeah, you were late this morning. You did commit, but we understand. You had some crazy calls going on this morning, and
I started early. But that's just the excuse that I used this morning.
Oh, nice. All the other mornings.
My character defect is I'm not a morning person.
We got them recovery cues coming in. But yeah, tell us about yourself, Patrick. We give us some life details. How you were raised. What got you. What hooked you into the. I guess the alcoholism or the the void that you went to, and then we'll go from there, brother.
Awesome. I appreciate it. Well, first of all, I'm honored to be here this morning. I'm honored that y'all would ask me to come and share my story, because I was told when I was first trying to get sober, you can't keep it unless you give it away. Mm-hmm. The thing about it is I was raised to be a private person, and you keep your stuff inside the house and you don't talk about it. Yep. And I found if I did that it would be detrimental to my recovery. So, that gives me an opportunity by y'all asking me to be here today to share my story. It's also going to help me tremendously as well. Awesome. Because I don't ever want to forget where I came from. So thank y'all. But, I was sitting here when talking about telling you, about a little bit about myself and growing up and stuff like that. And Bruce and I have known each other almost our entire lives. his grandmother lived right across the street from me.
your mom, yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Well, I lived with my mom, Bruce.
Yeah, back then, yeah. That's the old Georgetown.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely.
Did you discover Bruce's crypt? Is that how he walks the earth nowadays?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, see, I grew up with Bruce's brother, and Bruce was just a year. So I'm 55. How old are you?
I'm 52. Bruce? Yeah.
Okay, so he was just a few years behind us.
Yep.
Oh, sorry, wrong button. I went for the bra. I hit the wrong button.
Yeah, I never. I can just sit here and remember, as kids, and riding we were looking at pictures of mongoose bicycles just a little while ago, me and Bruce, and I could remember, everybody riding their bicycles, and now here we sit in a room in our 50s. Who would have thought
I'm not
it,
riding
man?
a bicycle today.
No, sir. No. I told him that I wanted to buy another mongoose and just hang it in my barn. I would never try to get on it again, But then we were reminiscing. We were looking at old pictures of our dads. Our dads were partners with the Richmond County Sheriff's Office in the early 70s.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, we're lifelong friends. But so I grew up here in Augusta, and, like Bruce, both of our dads were Richmond County deputies. And when we were born, and so I grew up in a law enforcement family. My mom was a RN at the University Hospital, going all the way back to the old University Hospital. And I had a normal childhood. I mean, it was my childhood, so I thought it was normal. My parents got divorced when I was 6 years old, and, I never saw any chaos with my mom and dad.
Yeah.
Later, growing up, I realized, in just conversations with my mom and dad, there was a lot of chaos with them, but they protected me, and, it was hidden from me. So I have nothing but good memories of that. And, I looked at it as it was kind of a bonus after my parents got divorced when I was 6, because I had a bedroom at my dad's house and I had a bedroom at my mom's house, and my mom never kept my dad from seeing me. It was not one of these things that you could only get him on these certain days. If my dad wanted to get me, he got me, and so all good memories there. But looking back on things, and having a dad in law enforcement too, I remember my dad always coming home from work and taking off that uniform, and the first thing he did was he went to the refrigerator and cracked a PBR.
Yeah.
And that was just normal.
Yeah.
And so, of course, as a small child, I've picked up a PBR before and, taken a sip of it. But my first experience with alcohol was when I was 13 years old. And Bruce will remember the friend that I had. He lived down the road on Martin Lane, Jeff Kennedy. And Jeff had an older brother, Jay, and we had talked Jay into buying us some beer. And he told us if anybody found out that he had bought it, that, he'd whip our tails. And so anyway, he asked us, he said, do y'all want the good stuff or do y'all want the cheap stuff? Well, this was our first hoorah with beer, man. We were all in, we wanted the good stuff. And so we said, man, we want the good stuff. How much does that cost? And he said, well, it's $10 a 6-pack. And so I had $5 that, I had saved up, and we're only 13, and $5 back then was a lot, but I had $5 and Jeff had $5. So we gave him the $10, and we asked him, we said, what is the goods? What kind of is the good stuff? And he said, Schaefer's beer is the best beer money can buy. Well, for those that don't know, Schaefer's is about 10 rungs below PBR. And I still got a resentment for that, because I have discovered that that 6-pack in 1983 cost $1.50.
Oh my Lord, you got ripped off.
Yeah, so he made $8.50 on the deal.
He got some real good stuff.
That's right. That's right. And going back to those mongoose bicycles, it was summer. It was July '83, and he told us that he was going to put it in the bushes. And of course, even at 9:00, 9:30 at night, it's still 100 degrees in Augusta.
Yeah.
and he was going to put it in the bushes by the mailbox, and we couldn't go until after dark to get it, and then to disappear and be out of sight.
Yeah.
So we went behind Forest Hills and Langford School, and we took those 3 beers apiece, and I'll never forget cracking that first one and that sound, that psh.
Yeah.
You don't have one of those sounds on there? And so, and I remember the smell of that thing, man. I vividly remember all these years later, and it stunk. It was horrible.
Yeah.
It was a hot Schaefer's beer. And I put that thing down, man. And see, I had seen older kids, and that's back in the days when you'd see the teenagers partying out in the woods and stuff like that, you know, and I'd seen that and all the fun they were having, and they were always drinking beer and laughing and cutting up, and I wanted that.
Yeah.
And so somehow I managed to get that thing down without getting sick. And after that first one, I remember the hair stood up on the back of my neck, and man, I bowed my bird chest out, and man, I thought I was Superman. And before long, I had the other 2 down, and I was on that mongoose doing things I had never, you know, been brave enough to do. Right,
yeah.
right. So we're riding up and down Walton Way, man, and we're riding wheelies and just having a good old time. And all of a sudden, my mouth started feeling warm, and I was like, man, what's happening here? I just wasn't feeling good, and I pulled over on the side of the road and just violently got like exorcist sick.
Yeah.
And here's where the crazy thing happened. After getting violently sick from that, when I stood up and wiped my mouth and wiped the sweat off my forehead, I looked at Jeff and I said, how do we get more?
Oh, dang.
How do we get more? And see, that's what's so crazy about it, because since then I've drank things that have made me sick. I've ate things that have made me sick, and I never go back to them again.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, Olive Garden got me good one time with food poisoning.
Well, you know, they cook all their food in the dumpsters anyway.
Oh, man. Hey, don't say that, because they're finally on my good graces again.
Okay. Sorry.
It took 15 years, man. Their lentil soup gave me food poisoning, and I wouldn't go back for 15 years. But I said, you know what? I'm in recovery. I'm supposed to give people second chances, and you know, and I got
not
over
a
that.
Person, Pat. It's a business.
I know, but look at me. I like to eat. By the way, talking about Santa, I'm gonna sidetrack here for a second. It made me think: do I look like Santa on Majerno?
Manjaro.
Manjaro.
Ozempic. You do look like a Santa on Ozempic. Actually, that's a good one. Yeah. How's your A1C, brother?
So, anyway, from that point on, anytime that I had the opportunity to drink alcohol, I always took that opportunity. Doesn't mean that I got to drink every day, every weekend, you know, every month or whatever, but from that point at 13 years old, if I had an opportunity to consume alcohol, I did it because I liked what it did for me.
Yeah.
It allowed me to be anything and anybody that I wanted to be. And so moving forward through high school, I like to party, I like to drink. And I will tell you this, if you are that way and you're a teenager, the place to go when you go to college is not Georgia Southern, where I went. And so I ended up, I looking back on it, I was junior varsity drinking up here in Augusta. When I got to Statesboro, man, that's when I went to varsity drinking.
Yeah.
And so I don't even have to tell y'all the story of what happened down there. I ended up back here.
Well, now we want to know the story.
You think it?
Yeah.
It happened.
Is the statute of limitations up?
Well, there are none on this podcast. We'll edit them, won't we?
Yeah.
We'll
That
edit
means
it.
nothing will be edited.
I'll edit it, Pat.
Yeah, I got you. Had a good time. I had a really good time in Statesboro.
I was about what, 10-1, 12-1 back in them days?
Oh, absolutely. 100%. 100%. It was, man, I am old because
There are a lot of girls compared to
Yeah.
boys. Oh, gotcha.
That's Joe
Wink.
Ross, Lester
Sorry.
Eford.
I just always heard Southern being a drinking school, not Not a babes.
Oh,
Dudes.
both.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
Yeah, they go hand in hand.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I never heard that.
Bruce has
Why
spent,
didn't I go to Georgia Southern?
I
Bruce
did,
has
but
spent
not
plenty
for
of time
school.
down there. He knows.
Oh yeah, a whole lot of time.
A whole lot of time. So, anyway, good times down there, but, I wasn't going to class.
Yeah.
And I don't even know. I haven't even thought of this story in so long, but it's so funny that I had to share it. Of course, being a broke college student, I lived in a dorm called VZ Hall, and I would be trying to get money for beer. And if I was broke, what I would do, I mean, this was like the biggest con artist thing to do. It was a huge dorm, and I would walk through the dorm, and if I passed you, I would say, "Hey man, you got a quarter? I'm short a quarter to dry my clothes." Well, of course, anybody give you a quarter, and back then in the 80s, everybody had change in their pocket. Unlike today, you'd be like, "No, I Venmo you."
But
Yeah.
Right.
No more pennies. R.I.P. pennies.
Right. But you
Yeah.
hit up 4 people, and man, you got $1.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's easy to hit up 4 people and get a quarter. And, so, man, I could get $15-20 just walking around the dorm a little while in the parking lot. I'd even go next door to the other dorms, and man, I had some drinking money then. But then it got to the point that people were like, "Dude, you just hit me up day before yesterday for a quarter, man."
you ain't washing clothes more than once a
Right,
week.
right, exactly. But anyway, so I ended up coming home, and my parents are not the type of parents that are going to let me just sit at the house.
Yeah.
I've got some friends that I've heard them say, "Yeah, well, my son can't find a job, and he's just sitting at home eating Cheetos, sitting on the beanbag watching Judge Judy."
Yeah. Yeah.
No, my parents aren't going to let you do that. So they told me I had to get a job. Well, I knew that I wanted to be in law enforcement, growing up, a deputy son. But my dad had always said that he didn't want me to do that. He wanted me to do something different and better. And so I wouldn't even consider talking to my dad about, going to the sheriff's department. So I saw a thing in the Augusta Chronicle, and it said they were taking applications for EMT school. Had no desire ever to be an EMT, but I was like, well, hey, it's got lights and sirens, and I'll try this.
Yeah.
And so I put in for it over at Augusta Tech, and got into EMT school, went to EMT school, and passed it, and started working with University Ambulance Service. That used to be the county ambulance provider back then in the 80s and 90s. And so I did that for a couple years, and I quickly realized that I liked the public service, but I did not like touching people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like people that were throwing up and people that were bleeding and stuff like that. Well, that's not a good job to be in, So we ran the ambulances out of the fire stations. And so we'd sit there and we'd eat with the firefighters and this, that, and the other. And so I said, man, I need to maybe make a transition. So I made the transition to Richmond County Fire Department and became a fireman, and loved it. Absolutely loved being a firefighter. Worked at Engine Company 1 over there on Richmond Hill Road at Richmond Hill West, and probably would have stayed there a career, but there just wasn't enough action for me.
Yeah.
I was young, and I wanted the adrenaline when you got a fire call was great, but it wasn't like the deputies. You see the deputies coming there and they're talking about all the stuff they got into and this, that, and that. I'm like, man, these guys are getting into stuff all day long.
Yeah.
And for any of the firefighters out there, they know this is the truth. This is a day at the firehouse in between the fire calls. And when they have to work, they have to work. But they eat until they're sleepy, and then they sleep until they're hungry.
Yeah.
It's just a vicious cycle. And now I poke at them and tell them, they say, "Why'd you leave the fire department?" I said, "I got tired of being a second responder. I wanted to be a first responder."
Oh.
Well, okay. With all that said, though, my roots are red from the fire service, and I love all my firemen out there.
I like that motto though. Eat till you're sleepy and sleep till you're hungry. Yeah. That's a good one.
And here's the thing about it. I used to say that that's not the way I wanted to live, but that's the way I love living now.
Now that's your motto now.
Right.
You should put that on a hat.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
absolutely.
I tell you what, I remember. So you talking about that? My dad worked with the West Richmond County Fire Department.
Yeah,
there at Walton Way Extension.
that's right.
And I remember going up there and hanging out with him. And but I tell you what, there's a lot of them guys in them firehouses that can cook too, boy.
Oh boy,
I mean, it is unreal.
Yeah.
that's so. I will tell y'all, I make award-winning chili.
Okay.
Now,
Where's it at? Did you bring it?
I
today?
know, and
I mean,
you
it's
know,
cold enough. You would
I
have thought
know,
he brought
I
a
know.
pot.
So now that I'm
I
gonna,
thought that's why you relate to the Bible study.
well, now that I've said that, I will have to back it up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I can't take credit for the recipe. I learned it at the firehouse.
Firehouse, yeah.
It's a firehouse recipe, and
Can you give us the recipe over the pot? No, I'm just joking. You don't have to do that. It's award winning.
that's right. It's award winning. I have truly won awards with it. So, a $50 Amazon gift card.
Heck yeah. Hey, that's an award.
Buy a bigger chili pot.
That's exactly right. So, anyway, I decided to transition over to the sheriff's office. And at the time, my dad had left Richmond County. He was a Columbia County deputy. And Columbia County was growing back then. I mean, this was 92. Now, keep in mind, 92, Columbia County was just a rural county. I mean,
2-lane Washington Road all the way out.
yeah. I mean, it's kind of like looking at what Lincoln County is now is what it was back then. Yeah. But my dad said, because I went to him and I said, Dad, I tried the EMT route, I tried the firefighter route, and I really want to be a deputy. And he's like, I know. I tried to steer you away from it, but I know that's what you want to do. You got my blessing. So I got his blessing, but he did tell me, he said, you need to come to Columbia County because there's going to be a big boom up here in Columbia County. And I took his advice, and that's where I came and had a great time. Otis Hensley was the sheriff back then, and that's who hired me. And so anyway, came to Columbia County. Well, along this time, I had actually, backing up, when I was at the fire department, I had gotten married and had my first child, Chase. And funny story there is that I had always said that I wasn't going to get married till I was like 30 years old. But lo and behold, I ended up married with him, and neither one of us, we realized a short time after being married that wasn't for either one of us. And so we decided to go our separate ways. And my ex-wife, she went back to Florida where she was from. And at the time, I was, the best fit to have primary custody. And that's kind of scary looking back at it now. But so I had primary custody of Chase and was raising him as a single dad. And, my drinking then had slowed down from my partying days because, I'd become a dad and this, that, and the other. And I still drank, but it had really slowed down a lot. Well, after a while, that got boring to me, especially after I transitioned to the sheriff's office. And I always gravitated towards guys that like to drink the same way I did. And I saw some of these single guys, deputies that were going out and partying on the weekend and having fun. And, I'm single, but I've got a child at home. So this is the time of my life that I found that I started finding people to leave Chase with, leave them with different family members, things like that. So I could go out and party. And I was doing that more and more. And finally I said, I had a realization that I needed to pull back and really be the dad that I had always wanted to be. So I had always imagined, like I said, I thought I'd get married at 30, and I wanted to be the man that put God first, my family second, and then my career third.
Yeah.
That's who I knew I wanted to be. Well, I found that things had gotten just totally discombobulated, and I was putting my career first and then my family next and then God third. So the God that I grew up knowing, and, you know, I was that little boy that prayed on the side of my bed on my knees. And my dad was raised Catholic, and my mom was raised Episcopalian, and they were both shift workers. And so I didn't go to church with them. I went to church with my grandmother, who was Presbyterian and was a member of the Reed Memorial Presbyterian Church. And so I grew up in church, you know, and grew up with a really good relationship with God. But I had ventured so far off from that. At this point in my life, I can't even remember the last time that I even had a conversation with God.
Yeah.
And so I knew that. I mean, when you lay your head down on the pillow, you know what type of guy you are. And I didn't want to be that guy. So I started trying to make some changes and calming down and this, that, and the other. Well, I ended up getting remarried, started dating a girl. And I mean, I didn't just snatch a woman up and marry her. I dated her for a while first, you know, but
you let her out your basement.
Right, exactly. right. But I courted her. Isn't that what old people say? I courted her. And
cornered?
Courted.
Oh, okay.
Courted. Yeah, Bruce is the only one that knows about courting. Yeah.
Oh, Bruce.
And so we got married, and we ended up having a son, my youngest son, Morgan. And everything, man, I had turned it around, and I really made it a conscious decision to be the man that I had always wanted to be. And we became members at First Baptist Church. Somebody asked me, this was recently, they said, what religion? Asked me what religion I was. And I said, well, it depends on who I'm married to at the time. But anyway, she was a member of First Baptist Church in Augusta. And so, and was active over there. And so I was back in church and really enjoyed the church, you know, doing things with the family, and was doing well at the sheriff's office, but I had my priorities right, you know, God, family, and then work.
Yeah.
And, you know, the Reader's Digest version of that part is that got boring to me. And I started making my priorities different, and wanted to run with my boys again and drink and, you know, do things that pleased Patrick.
Yeah.
Do very selfish things that pleased me. And so I did that, and it finally, you know, blew up. And she told me, she said, it's either, you know, me and the family, or you got to go. And it was an easy decision for me because I was very selfish, and I didn't want to change the way I was living. And so I said, okay, I'll see you. And that was in 1999, and I left. And, you know, looking back on it now, you know, Chase, because he came into that marriage with me, and Chase, she treated Chase great, and like he was one of her own children. And so my youngest son, Morgan, stayed with her. Chase and I moved out, and then here I am single now, raising an 8-year-old. And my drinking really, really ramped up then. I could drink without any consequences or anybody nagging at me or anything like that. And so we were living up at the lake up at Tradewinds Marina, which is kind of like being on vacation anyway, you know. And so looking back on it, I'm not proud of this by any means, but I look back at pictures of the time that I was raising Chase up there as a single dad, and I could not find one picture of me and my son that I didn't have an alcoholic beverage in my hand. That was just normal, you know? And so this is the point in my life that I decided that something needed to change with my drinking. I never had thought about that part. And so I started doing things like, okay, I'm only going to drink on this day, only going to drink on weekends, you know, and I would do it for a little while, and then I'd always revert back to my old ways. And it started bothering me because I'm the type guy that if I set a goal, I'm going to achieve my goal.
Yeah.
And I started realizing that this was the one goal that I would set that I would always ultimately end up failing at. And so that was kind of bothering me right there. Why can't I not do that? And so I think it's important to share at this point in my life too, between my EMS, fire, and law enforcement careers, because I'd done all three at that point. I had a lot of cumulative stress from stuff that we see as first responders, you know, all the death and, you know, things like that. And, you know, you carry it. I mean, Bruce has been in law enforcement and, you know, I mean, I'm sure that there's things that he can clearly pop up right now. And probably there's things that just pop up out of the blue sometimes that you were like, where did that come from?
Yeah, that's the worst part. Yeah, I mean, you know.
Yeah. You can just be sitting in your chair and it's like a box that you've tucked it away deep down in there. All of a sudden opens up and it creeps up right there in the front of you.
Thanks for listening, and remember, the smoke may settle, but the embers stay lit. This was the Gunpowder, Propane, and Jesus podcast. Stay tuned for the next part of this episode.